Hi guys, welcome to our online art studio. This week we're going to continue talking about elements of art. The project that we're going to work on today will help you memorize all 7 of the elements of art: line, shape, form, space, value, color, and texture. That's 7. So for our project today, we will need a piece of paper, an eraser, optional ruler, and a school pencil. We will start by dividing our paper in 7 sections, 1 section for each element of art. To do that, you can find the middle of your page by using a ruler. And this paper seems to be about 12 inches wide. So I'm marking the middle at the bottom of the page. And I'm marking the same thing on the top of the page. Now I'm going to connect the corner, the lower right corner of the paper with the marking that I made. And I'm going to connect this part over here. One more over here. So what we got here, we got 7 areas that we can fill with our elements of art. But before we do that, I would like you to pick a word or a phrase that you would want to position in the middle of your drawing. I'm going to use those kind of block type of letters. For my demonstration, this will do just fine. So here's how we're going to fill up our spaces. We're going to put line over here and some examples of the shapes over here. We'll probably place the color over here, texture. We can add value scales on this side, space, element of art down below, and the very last one is the form. Now we can start brainstorming different ideas on how to represent all of these elements of art in this one place. And now it's time to fill up all of these empty spaces with our designs. Let's start with the line. When I'm thinking about line, there could be so many possibilities. We can start with a straight line. We can divide the space and add some diagonal lines. Okay, so as you can see, my line section is all filled up. Now we can move to another one. Let's say shape. That's easy. We can as well add some geometric shapes like the circles. I'm looking forward to see what kind of shapes you can come up with for your design. So I'm going to leave this area empty for now. I'm going to fill it up later. And color. So for the color, I actually need to have some color. I will leave it for later as well. Now the form is a tricky one because we have to show the dimension. So let's think about any form that comes to our mind first. Maybe you thought about cube. If you shade the sides of your cube differently, it will help the viewer to understand its three-dimensionality of the form. Let's see, we can also add some lines here to build up the shape. Or we can place our lines so close together that it will create shading. Keep working, add more forms to it. Could be cone, could be sphere, could be pyramid, you name it. So fill up this whole area with your shapes. Now, how do we show space in our artwork? We use the perspective. Perspective requires us to have some kind of horizon line. Even if it's only implied horizon line, if there is no visible horizon line, we still need to place it there to have the feeling of the perspective. So let's say here's my horizon line, and for this part of the project I will use 1 point perspective, meaning I only have one vanishing point right there, and perhaps I can use something that shows perspective the best. Such things like railroad or rivers, roads work the best, streets of the city. So I'm going to start my river all the way at the vanishing point, far, far away, and then I'm going to widen it as I get close to the viewer at the bottom of the page. So that's my river. Maybe I'll place some hills over there, very back. Maybe it's a river Nile, and then I will add some palm trees. This one is real close to me. It's going to be very dark. Remember guys, when we trying to apply the perspective rule, anything that is located closer to the viewer is darker and brighter in color, while everything that is in the distance is lighter and more grayish in color, because we don't see clean colors from the distance. I see definitely more details over here, so maybe there's some movement of the water visible. I don't know, the water flows like this, jumping off the little rocks. And let's see, what else can we texture. Everything that we touch has texture. Either it's smooth or gritty, maybe it's bumpy, or maybe it's... Think about what kind of texture you want to represent here. It doesn't have to be just one, but when you're drawing something in the texture section, think about something that you can recognize. So for instance, if I will just put a lot of dots over here, and it's going to be representing the sand dunes or lots of salt crystals spilled out of the salt shaker. Think about any texture that you can successfully represent on this part of your drawing. The last one, but one of the most important elements of art, is value. So what we can do is we can use one color or even same pencil as you use it right now, and we can create a scale of values right here. There are different ways how you can represent the values. You can go with shading, and I'm gonna show you shading. I have a piece of scrap paper that I have somewhere, and shading can really help you to achieve the nice transition from low value to higher value. It all depends how light or hard you press on the pencil while you're doing it. Or you can go with the line work, and you can add multiple lines to show the variety of values. You will notice how going over the same section of the paper, you create darker values, and by placing the lines further away from each other, you can create lighter value. And then the lightest one you can just leave blank, just to show the color of the paper.